Yes.
Well, hello, interweb people of the YouTubes. I am the Mad Colorist. This right here is my sister, and we're about to give her teal and titanium pearl silver hair. Just watch, it'll be fun. Now, we're also using some products I haven't tested before, so just, you're watching Mad Science Live. Hope you enjoy.
All right, and we're live.
All right. Since we're going for a two-tone fashion color look, the sectioning is really important because you don't want two colors that may not necessarily have compatible bases to bleed onto one another. Then you get what's often called a muddied color. And so what we've done here is we've gone ahead and isolated that top section. We're going to apply Chi Chroma Shines in True Teal to this space we have here. Last year we did a Mardi Gras color type of scheme, and the blue and the purple, it kind of faded out, but that, you know what, that's going to make the perfect foundation for this teal, which is going to be a beautiful contrast for the platinum titanium violet blonde that we're going to do on the top. It'll be a matrix color. I just feel so divided sometimes. I mean, I love the matrix color, but I also really love the cheek color too. But we're just going to go ahead and paint that right on there, because we're also kind of going for an ombre look, so we're not going to lighten up her new growth on the back and sides, but we're going to highlight through that top section, and so when all of that lays down, you're going to get like a beautiful grown out result that also has like the intense color on the mid shaft and the ends. And you can already see how that teal is just grabbing right on to where that blue and that purple was. It's actually going to give us even more of a multi-tonal effect. And, you know, for these sections, we don't really have to be too precise with it. This is where you can be like a little kid finger painting. Just have fun with it. And so we're just going to slap that on there and drag it through. Just slap and drag. Now, I've always really liked the Chi Chroma Shines, and whether the teal shade is new or whether it just became available to me, I don't know, but I'm excited to try it. Now, since I am working with, you know, some products and or some shades of products I haven't used before, the model here is my sister, so if I screw it up, she can't really do too much to me. Well, I don't know, I mean, she knows where to sleep, but other than that, yeah.
So are you just going to take it through the hair that you have down?
Yes, we're just going to take it through where we're already pre-lightened and we already have the blue base. But you'll notice, even though I'm grabbing big sections, I'm just kind of feathering it into her natural color, because what you don't want is just that harsh line. Because, you know, her hair can go up, it can go down, it can move all around, and so we don't want, like, really any harsh lines of demarcation. And so what I'm doing is I'm applying it about an inch below where the hair has already been pre-lightened, and then I'm pulling it through, and then using what's left on the gloves, I'm just kind of like pinching it like right on that line. Or grabbing the top sections and feathering where needed. And you see this turning a brilliant emerald green right when it goes on, but then you see how after just a moment or two it starts getting more of a bluish cast to it. And you don't really have to worry too much about overlapping onto hair that is not pre-lightened. Oh, bless you. Because this really is designed to be used on pre-lightened hair only. Although, if you really wanted to, you could use it as almost like a rinse to intensify other colors. I mean, you can, but doesn't necessarily mean you should. I mean, because, well, let's face it, scrap's expensive.
gonna cut it off.
And then just on the very top of this bottom layer, just kind of feather in some peacock blue, like almost kind of like biolage, but just right on this very top. And it's just going to give our teal more dimension, but it'll still be more green than blue, which is what we're going for here. And you just like really load up your brush and start heavy at the demarcation line and then just kind of feather it down. Because we definitely want that teal to be the more dominant color. So we're just like that, just feather it down. Which as it goes on, you'll notice it looks more violet than blue, but it'll change once it starts to develop. Even though, like generally speaking, direct deposit colors, generally you would think what you see is what you get, but that's not always the case. Like this will go on looking violet and then rinse out looking blue. Alright. And then that can sit while we are doing our foils through the top.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
No, no matter. Okay, so now that we layered our blue and teal sheet chroma shines, comb them through a little bit, process them for about 10-15 minutes. And then I went ahead and rinsed and blow dried this not only so you could see how the colors blend, but also what that does is that stabilizes the pigments and will keep them from bleeding when we highlight and tone this upper portion. Now, I don't know how well you can see it, but if you look closely, you can see the striations of the teal and the blue. So it creates a nice blended effect. But what we're going to do now, since we've got this color stabilized, is we're going to clip this up. And this also cuts down on blowout time, is that we won't have to completely blow dry all the hair, once we're done. So we're going to take this top section, and we are using a Schwarzkopf Professional Blonde Me lightener with its companion developer. Now, as you can see, she already has some blonde from the last color session, and the instructions recommend that you don't layer on top of free lightened hair, so we're just going to use some Olaplex, which we're going to grab right here.
Yay, Olaplex.
Oh yes, we love this stuff here.
Love, love, love.
We're just going to mix it to our bleach, because remember, you always have to mix your bleach or your color first before adding your Olaplex.
Leslie? Okay, she'll probably be coming.
Okay, that's mixed. Now, what we're going to do, because we want kind of a randomized effect, is obviously you're not going to try to do biolage over this, but you can get a very similar effect with what's called a chunky radial highlight, which means that we're going to part her subsections in a rough circle, like so. And then instead of doing, the traditional front to back highlight, we're just going to work our way into a circle so that we get that lovely randomized effect of, a chunk here, a streak there, a sliver over yonder. Oh, there's my Texas coming out. Over yonder! That's how you know I'm a native Texan. I also can't correctly pronounce the words oil or tires. I can't do it. I've tried. So, we're just going to start picking up big subsections. And the great thing about this technique is that you don't have to be very precise to get beautiful results. And since we're not going to work that lightener directly up to the roots, because that's the reason we didn't pre-lighten the underlayer here, is that we are going for an ombre effect in combination with other techniques. So we're just going to take that, and you notice how each subsection is almost kind of an inverted diamond? Well, that's because when you lay it down and you start feathering that lightener on, it diffuses the root line. So I don't know how well you can see this, but I'll grab this. We're going to take our lightener, and we're going to really glob it on this lower section. Just slather it on there like you're frosting a cake. Then once we get closer to the root line, we just kind of feather. Because we want a very diffused effect. Now we can just close our foil like so. Now, ordinarily, like to say, if I was working with virgin hair, I would do this in smaller, thinner sections, but because we're already pre-lightened and we are going for like almost a dip dyed ombre effect, I can just go ahead and take those big sections like that. Here you go, and sneak one more in there. There we go. It's like that last child in a marriage where they didn't quite plan to have 3, they just wanted 2. Well, at least that's how I came along. Anyway, hi, Pathos. You see, this kind of technique, while it may not look very precise, it actually is very calculated. Oop. Stay. And so I'm creating those irregular but inverted diamond-shaped sections by rocking the end of my pintail comb back and forth. Actually, I want like a little bit wider piece of foil for that one, actually. We're just going to go, yeah, and, yeah.
It takes okay.
Alright. As you can see, we're just kind of going in a circle with this irregular freehand chunky highlight to create that nice randomized ombre effect. Just keep whacking it on nice and thick on the mid shaft and ends. Just like a 5-year-old in controlled fashion. Oh, by the way, finger painting was like my favorite thing in kindergarten, so. Feathering, like earlier. And now, like when you do a radial highlight, this is really important. That that smallest top section, you actually leave the very center of it out of the fun completely. But what you do is that it starts out as a circle and then it kind of goes down to more of a square. So you create roughly an inch wide section, and just this very top piece gets left out entirely. Instead of doing that chunky highlight like we did all around, the middle. Oh, here we go. We'll just flip you to you. There you go. You can stay right there. Is then we go through and we just take really thin sections, just right at the very top. So that way we don't have that harsh line and we get that very gradual grown out effect that we really, really want. But like we did with the lower, chunkier sections, we still purposely don't go all the way to the root line. We just kind of feather it. So same technique, just a little bit lighter hand as we work our way towards the top. Okay, you are going to move over here. Little bitty sections. And 3 on the top here ought to do it. It's almost like twirling spaghetti up on a fork.
That's what they look like.
Well, I don't recommend putting this stuff in your mouth. I mean, I did that once on a dare, and it was not good. And then I sort of woke up in a ditch without my pants. I'm just going to take like one more little piece from here. Little sections, little sections. There we go.
No more than 20. Okay, waiting for it to come up. I'm going to turn the light on.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're live.
All right. So, 15 minutes later, with the Schwarzkopf lightener, look at that level of lift.
Wow. Wow.
So we're going to yank all this out, and you can kind of already see how we have that chunky randomized effect we were after. Like, it's a hybrid technique. It's like a grown-out ombre highlight. Alright, so we're going to rinse that. Sorry, it's a little cold. Oh, nice one. There we go. Now you can already see that we have this effect where she had the previous highlights. We have like a white blonde, but then we have like a pale yellow right now on our virgin hair. You can get that same effect by just alternating coils with, say, like 30 volume and 50 volume. So it's not entirely impossible to do if you hadn't had some extreme color before, shall we say. Now we're going to take our cart here, and for our toning procedure, we have our Ultra Blonde So Color and Ultra Blonde Violet Titanium. That's going to give us, on pre-lightened hair, a beautiful, smoky amethyst color. This is intended to be used as a highlight color, but I find that it works really well as a toner. So we're going to say a ½ ounce to 1 1/2. Actually, we're just going to go ahead and go all the way to 2 so we have like a good amount. Because as you know, I love to finger paint with my stuff. And then we are, because the mixing ratio is 1 to 2, we're going to take our Matrix 30 volume and we're going to measure, let's see, 1 1/2, so 3 ounces. I had to stop and think for a minute because I don't math. I'm going to mix up our pudding of awesomeness. So what I love about the Matrix color is like that thick, creamy consistency where it's almost kind of like sour cream or cake frosting, and I have a lot more control as far as dripping and staining goes and reducing incidences of those things. Because I can give you beautiful results, but I will warn you, I'm a messy hairdresser. I get stuff everywhere. But hey, as long as you look good when I'm done, that doesn't really matter, does it? And then we're going to go ahead and take more of our Olaplex, which you want to mix that with your bleach, with your toner, with color, everything, just kind of depending. Like if you're using a direct dye, you don't really need to. But if you are trying to do fashion color or extreme color change with any sort of previously tinted hair, you definitely want to use that, just kind of as insurance. So we're going to mix that in. And what this also does is it helps rebuild the keratin bonds inside the hair while you're toning. And nothing special, nothing fancy here. We're just going to take this and just finger paint it right on there. You can already see we have some very strong violet tones coming through, but in this case, that's what we want. What you can do if you're looking for like a natural pearl ash, and I've been known to use similar colors like this on certain clients that say it was a mature woman who just wanted, you know, some more oomph to her natural silver highlights. I've done that too. Well, alright. After rinsing and toning, this is our finished product. We've got like a smoky amethyst color that has a very diffused root area. Don't pay no attention to my purple fingernails. That fades down into this intense